Good evening and welcome to Truth, Health, and Wellness. I'm Lacey Klontz, and with me is Dr. Matt and Deborah St. John. Hey guys.
Hello.
Missed you both the last couple of weeks. Did you have a happy 4th?
We don't even. Do we remember the 4th?
We went and saw Oxford.
So it was
we
that
did.
good.
We went to the Oxford. No, it was really good.
Oxford had a great show. It
Oxford
lasted
Police
23
Department.
minutes.
You did an incredible job. It was a 25-minute
Yeah.
video of fireworks
It was great.
nonstop.
Wow.
It was wonderful, and it was really neat. It was great. There was it was just a neat vibe. So it was really cool.
Our dog Cookie loved them.
I
Oh,
literally.
I saw her just a moment ago.
Oh, you did.
I did.
She's not afraid of fireworks.
That
Well,
is fantastic.
the grand finale
Most
was a
dogs
little
are.
bit, yeah, there was a little freaky
A little
at the
tense.
end when the grand finale.
The grand finale when
but
it's
she
a
was
whole
still
bunch.
Cool. Yeah,
She was great.
She was great
Yeah. She's outside in the air-conditioned car.
in the van.
And I walked up by the passenger door. I knew she'd be right there. So she was laying down, just chilling and facing the other way, not facing me. And
Oh.
I just, she gets up and,
Yeah, Brittany's
So
in the
threatening.
van. She would
protector.
oh,
kill
sorry,
for
Brittany, if I scared you.
She probably did.
She was ready for
Sorry.
it.
She needs it. Yeah.
She
Actually, I
needed
think I think we knew that when you got here, Cookie would bark. So, because you like to pick on our dog because she loves you. She only
I
barks.
love her. I don't pick on her.
She licks. She
I just
kisses
love
your
her.
nose.
Oh, she
so
does. Yeah,
She doesn't
we
do
watched
that
her.
to many people.
Nope,
She's precious.
she is. We're gonna have her on here.
We'll bring her
sometime.
on soon.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. An animal health segment.
Exactly. That would be fantastic. So, what have you all seen this week and last week that we weren't here? What have you seen coming into the clinic?
Well, for one was me. That was my. I'll go ahead and publicly tell it. We've been moving. And so we had like a U-Haul truck, and so we're in front of this place in Center, Alabama, and they like sell furniture and stuff. And so we got this really good deal on a bed, and so we're loading the bed, and I'm being a little impatient. So the guy that's normally there to load isn't there, but they've called him, and he's on the way.
his way.
He's on his way. Now I should have just obviously said, okay, great. No, I was hard-headed, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to do what we're going to do. So I open up the U-Haul. It's raining, and so he shows up while we're kind of working, the guy does, but I'm moving toward the back of the U-Haul, and all of a sudden the next thing I know is I see the sky, I'm falling backwards, and I busted. I just wiped out. I landed, I fell about 4 feet flat on my back in a parking lot. And we know when you're 48 years old, that's a lot different than when you're like 18 or something. And so I'm laying on the ground. People are coming over that were in the
scary.
parking lot saying, is he dead? What's going on? And I'm like, I think I'm okay. And but I literally, oh my goodness, I caught myself with my wrist. My wrist has been just black and blue. Of course, my rear end, my side, my entire side that I landed on. But it's amazing how fast, because we couldn't quit. We had to keep working.
Right, yeah, you have to.
Got to do what we had to do. And so I've been so sore every night, but we've been doing a lot with the CBD creams.
Turmeric. You've been taking a lot of turmeric.
Eating a ton of turmeric.
And bromelain.
So no
Yeah.
opioids for you guys.
Oh no!
I'm teasing,
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I mean, there's a time and place for
I'm
whatever, but
teasing.
but at this point, I've just been blown away with how fast my entire wrist was bruised. I have small wrist, and we've been doing nothing but moving. So I'm like sitting here with a purple wrist while moving furniture and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, we've had help, which was wonderful. But it really took a lot of, but it helped me understand how fast I heal these days, and how bad it hurts to fall down at this age. I don't want to fall down much more.
No.
It's not good.
I'm glad you're healing well, though.
Yeah, it made a big difference to do the CBD and the bromelain and the turmeric have been a big part of the
Yes.
healing process.
Big part.
As far as what we're seeing, my goodness, there's so much depression. We're seeing so many people who are depressed. Sometimes the last thing they mention is the fact that they're depressed.
It's the first thing
Yeah.
you should mention.
Well, really it is, because it's hard to do any therapy if you're depressed.
Right.
It's hard to confidently move forward in your health and heal.
It's also hard to really know if you're depressed sometimes
Yeah.
until you start to talk to somebody about it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you just feel like you're going through your day to day, and it's a little bit stressful, and you got all this stuff to deal with, all these bills piling up, or whatever it is, and you don't realize that there's something that can actually help you deal with all of this stress better.
And the people that are mainly stressed these days are the doers. You know, there's the doers and there's the takers. Now, most of the takers don't know that they're takers, but most of you doers do know that you're doers. So the doers are busy working, taking care of others, taking care of their parents, taking care of their kids, taking care of this, taking care of this person, taking care of the church, taking care of this. Okay, that's the doers. But the problem is these days that the takers can't get enough. So the takers keep taking from the doers, and the doers keep doing more. But there's a certain point where the doers are getting stressed out. So they're about
Getting
done.
taken advantage of.
Right. So the doers are getting done. And so we have to take people, it's like, okay, we know that you handle stress well. You know, I know that you're the supervisor of, you know, your whatever. I know that you're all this. But the problem is that this compounded stress and anxiety is killing you. If it's not affecting your mind like you think, you know, like you don't think it is, it's affecting your body physically. Every time we're stressed out, your B vitamins get depleted, your minerals get depleted. You develop nutritional deficiencies, even with your probiotics and your friendly bacteria in your gut, because of stress. And that's the reason when people take a B complex, they're like, oh, it helps me with my stress. No, your stress was just wiping out your B vitamins and you felt like garbage, so now you started taking your B vitamins and you don't feel as bad. It's not that really that it's helping you with stress, but it is indirectly. It's a matter of what stress does to your body. And we keep finding people that are just enduring, and they're not seeking help. And then we put them on something called Happy Now, just some little simple formula that should be, I mean, you should be a dime a dozen, but it's really kind of unique because it's special. It has lobelia in it, along with your St. John's wort, kava, those types of ingredients.
What's lobelia?
Lobelia is an herb that's traditionally used for pulmonary problems, lung problems, chest, congestion. It was very popular during COVID-19. Well, I'm sorry.
Did you say congestion? Helps with congestion?
Yeah, bronchitis and all that.
Sign me up.
And it became popular during COVID. Well, actually, it just was popular with us and a few others, but the kind of people that really believed in lobelia. There's a lot of old text about lobelia inducing vomiting. Like they used to use it for when they would develop food poisoning, or they would get sick from bad food. The Cherokee would actually take a big dose of lobelia and intentionally vomit to cleanse their bodies. So because of that old traditional use, the Europeans and even all the way until now have sort of looked at lobelia as being scary or being something else. Like, I don't want to take too much lobelia, I don't want to throw up. And it's like, well, if you have COVID-19 and you're dying, a little throwing up might not be a bad thing.
It might save you.
Right. So many people but here's the funny thing about COVID. About lobelia, is that there's nothing funny about COVID. The funny thing about lobelia is that of all the people that we had on lobelia, and this is including people who were like on vents, people who were in the hospitals, people who were they were getting dosed in the hospitals. No one ever vomited. No one even became nauseous.
Yeah, I think the Cherokee used probably fresh herbs a lot more.
Instead of the dry.
I think the fresh is more likely to make it make that happen.
So lobelia in a small dose just sort of completes the formula and makes it really, really, really good. And one of the things that the people notice about the Happy Now is how much it helps with fear. And people don't
fear. Like fear and anxiety.
Yeah, it's all connected. Fear, stress, anxiety. When you get afraid, you're stressed.
Yeah.
What is anxiety really? I mean, what is anxiety but fear?
That's exactly right.
People just don't admit that they're afraid. But being anxious is a looming fear of something. And so when people start taking things that kind of negate fear in particular, not just raising serotonin and making you feel like a big, dumb, happy person, but I'm talking about like actually getting to the root of cause of some problems. That's like the study of ayahuasca. It's the only plant on earth that's been shown to completely repair damaged brain cells and to birth new neurons. I mean, this means literally, if you drink this, consume this, you will get, you'll have brain damage repaired. You'll become more intelligent. And it's like, we have the studies, but they don't want you taking it. They don't want the studies.
Well, no, because they make too much money off
Rockefeller medicine. But it makes a big difference, though, to know that we have access to these things. And people are learning. You know, like I said, ever since the 90s, when the Germans came out with the German E-Commission came out with 500 or 930 monographs of that these herbs actually did, you know, what they historically have been used for.
Yeah.
Up until that point, you know, the pharmaceutical companies are like, hey, you know, it's snake oil. This stuff is just, it's hype, it's garbage.
Snake
it doesn't work.
oil?
Yeah, snake
Which
oil, that's what they call it.
actually snake oil is beneficial, and you can use it for a lot of different things.
There's medications that use snake venom, snake oil. And what's wild is we go to Peru down, one of the first things we notice when we visit our first shaman in the streets of Belen is they're like proud. Look at our anaconda oil. Okay, and we're like, literally, you're
Anaconda
selling
oil.
snake oil? And so we got to get a jar of that. And then what was, we're out deep in the jungle, and Maria offered us Bushmaster oil from the Bushmaster snake, the most poisonous snake on the earth, and which of course they have in the Amazon, of course, and this is the actual oil from it. When we got back, I had the anaconda oil, and I had done something horrible. I think what happened to my arm? I fell or something. It was bruised, and it was just a solid bruise. And we used the anaconda oil on my arm, and the next morning when we woke up, it was a marked difference, even in the bruising. But it stunk so bad. I literally felt like I slept with a snake the entire night. And I can honestly tell you, I don't ever want to use it again.
Yeah, he didn't like it, but it worked.
It did work.
I feel like if you add some essential oil to it, it would help the overall.
Yeah, then you
know.
have an essential oily snake.
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
My lavender snake.
I've got our Facebook Live pulled up right here. So, side note, if you have any questions for Matt and Deborah St. John, please ask in the Facebook comment section, and we'll ask him. But I don't know if he left, but I saw that our TV24 employee, Jeff Sparks, was watching just a moment ago, and you're talking about snake oil. He is so afraid of snakes, and he might have left.
Oh my gosh, he left
But
because of, yeah.
come on, Sparky. It's good for you.
You can slather your arm up with it and sleep with it for a night and see what happens.
Oh, nope. He is deathly afraid of snakes.
Oh, he would have loved the coral snake that went about 3 feet away from our feet while we were knee deep in water in the jungle looking for a frog in a tree.
I bet he would have shot it.
We didn't have shotguns. We didn't have our shotguns with us.
I don't know.
Well, they don't shoot things in the jungle. They just don't, for some reason, they're like, oh, look,
Sparky
a snake.
would shoot that.
And so the thing goes by, right? And it was red on black, on yellow. And so red on black's a friendly jack, right?
Not there.
Not in
right?
the
That's what
Amazon.
you told me. Not in the Amazon.
Yeah, because
stay
in the
away
Amazon,
from the creatures.
red on black means you're going to die, Jack, because there's no antidote for the coral snake. But Percy made me feel better when he let me know that the coral snake releases its venom while it's digging into you, chewing on you. So
you got a little bit of
you got a
time.
little bit of time to try and get away from the snake or whack it or something, because it doesn't just strike you; it chews on you. Anyway, so but a guy walked by barefoot, right by us, right after seeing the coral snake. He just walked right by barefoot. He didn't care, and the snake was hiding under a log.
Yeah, it didn't seem too aggressive. It was, you know.
Yeah, I don't want the coral snake chewing on me.
Yeah, we don't want
I agree.
to risk it.
No.
Though. So how do you even get snake oil? How do you?
Okay, so basically they boil the snake. Okay, so the snake oil is made from the fat of the snake.
It's
So
the
you're
oil.
basically cooking.
So you have to boil the snake,
How'd
and
we
they eat the meat, but they'll boil the fat out
They eat the meat.
and use it as medicine. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
regret
they do that.
asking this
And
question.
and so now we'll go to break, right?
Yep, we've got to go to break. We will be right back. Don't go away.
You may not believe it, but it's true. The 2024 Team 1 Chevys are here. All 2324 Silverado Light Duties have 2.9% financing for 72 months. The hottest new 24 Team 1 Chevy Blazer, 1.9% financing and no payments till April. And the #1 selling family vehicle, the Equinox. 24 models, you got it. 1.9% financing and no payments till April. Team 1 Chevrolet, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upper Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
I'm Alan Parnell, the Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
At Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Welcome back to Truth, Health, and Wellness. Again, I'm Lacey Klontz, joined by Matt and Deborah St. John. Again, if you are watching us on Facebook and you have a question for them, comment and we will read it out. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about snakes.
Ah.
We were talking about snakes. We were talking about snake oil. We were talking about how we went down to Peru and we were kind of shocked because we kept seeing like snake oil for sale. And of course that's a terminology that's used negatively about our entire field.
About
About anything
saying
natural.
herbs that don't work.
Yeah, it's just all snake oil. But then once again, like we said, when the German E-Commission comes out with the 930 monographs showing that these actually work and work clinically, what do you say then? Then the drug company said, oh no, we need to start buying out these companies. So that's what's been happening ever since then. But it's really neat because the information is there, the clinicals are there. There are clinicals for frog medicine in the Amazon. I mean, they've done clinical studies on Cambo, which we both had. We both had a Cambo.
Yeah.
Yep, that's an interesting one.
It was weird.
A little strange, and we'll have Cambo when we go back because it's used as a vaccine against malaria and other
And
issues.
that's the one you get from tickling the frog?
Yes, you string the frog up, you tickle its nose.
And
It makes
by the way, they have told me it does not hurt the frogs.
No.
No, if you hurt the frog, it's bad mojo, and you pretty much just have to start over again. You can't hurt the frog. It's
They're
don't
very
hurt them.
protective of those frogs.
Yeah, the tree frogs, giant monkey frogs,
monkey
and
frog.
pink dolphin. Those are highly regarded and valued in Peru and in the Amazon.
I've looked up those pink dolphins. They're just different looking.
Isn't that wild?
They're
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, and they supposedly there was a pink dolphin spotted. Where was it?
Off of like South Carolina
Off
or
of
something?
off the coast of South Carolina, and then now, but we called.
We looked at it
no.
and immediately knew
We're
it
like,
was
no,
not
that's
true.
not true. That's
What
not true.
was it then?
It was
It was
Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Somebody had taken just retinted.
Liars.
There are pink dolphin, but you've got to go to freshwater. You got to go to the Amazon to see them.
Yeah.
Well, probably other places, and
Possibly.
maybe in I don't know, in Asia, but they're definitely there at the Amazon. We've seen them. We've pulled a boat up to the where the Ucayali and the Amazon River, not the Ucayali, where the where the Black River and the Amazon meet, and it's so interesting. But that's where the dolphin play, and you pull your boat up, and you basically have a call. I won't make the call right now because it'll
Please
be really
do.
crazy. That's better than.
I love the long pause.
Yeah, I had to prepare.
Before
That's better than the
staring me dead in the
giant
face.
giant monkey frog. You know what the giant monkey frog? Have you ever heard a call for a giant monkey frog? Bop, bop. That's it.
Glug, 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 glug.
And then you go bop, and then eventually you'll hear in the forest you'll hear bop, blah 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 blah.
I would never be able to do that
And
with a
then-
straight face.
And then you follow that sound. And so there's these people who are from there. And, they're walking through the jungle with some gringos, and literally we're all walking, and pretty soon I'm like bop, bop, and Percy's like, that's pretty good, my friend. And I'm like, thanks. About that time we hear bop, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yes, I'm talking. So we literally went
So you're having a conversation
with a frog
with a frog.
at night in the jungle in the Amazon River. That's when we bumped into the coral snake, actually. We walked all the way through the jungle until we got to a marshy area, and we found the frog up in a tree, 25 foot up in a tree. And then the local guy, what was his name, Jose, in his bare feet, and shorts and t-shirt, goes through the muck, climbs a 25-foot tree with nothing but his shorts and a t-shirt on. It was wet. The tree was wet. Oh, and there was a bullet ant on the tree when he first got there. He had to knock the bullet
Oh,
ant
that's
out.
right.
Yeah. Then he climbs the tree, shimmies up the tree, gets up to the Y in the tree. Then 2 men cut down another tree about 6 inches in diameter, carry the tree carefully because they could barely carry it with the 2 of them, up to Jose, lean the tree over, and then Jose somehow, with the strength of 5,000 men, takes the thing between his legs and his arms and lifts the entire 25-foot pole up and then puts it over on another limb so that he can go get the monkey frog. Which, by the way, hasn't moved the entire time. If you
They
were
won't.
They just stand there. It's like,
They
okay,
just hang out waiting on you to come get them.
come get me,
I
tickle my
guess
nose.
That's their purpose.
Yeah, and so they. But anyway, when you have the Cambo, it has dermorphin, delmorphin, and delmorphin A, and those are 3 constituents that they can't isolate in science. And so it's frustrating because it's like, do we really have to tickle a frog and get a poison and burn ourselves? You actually get burned. If you're a Christian, they'll do a Trinity pattern, a burn, a burn, a burn, and they use a little almost like a
Incense stick.
incense stick, or they use a Titica vine. It's
So
called.
you just tell them if you're a Christian or not? And
Well, it really has
Yeah.
to do with the person that's doing it. If
Yeah,
the
yeah.
person that's giving you the Cambo is a Christian,
do
they'll
a
do
Trinity
it.
pattern.
If they're not,
They do 4
it
dots
in
down, straight
different.
down. You can basically tell when somebody has Cambo, their faith, normally. And so then they apply the poison, mixed with your saliva, by the way, to each of the little burns, right? And then you'll feel it go straight through your body because it's a transdermal delivery system.
Joy.
Yeah, and it's not anything fun or nice or anything. It just goes down to your toes, goes all the way up, and then as you're sitting there or laying there, lean back in the chair is what we were last time. You start to feel, and it pinpoints in your body where you have either abnormal tissue growth, some sort of damage, some sort of issue, and you'll feel it. You'll actually feel it, and you'll actually feel some movement in that region. That's very strange. And so
It's
then,
cool, though.
Yeah. Then
That's
after about
cool.
30 minutes into this whole thing, you're done. Normally, the worst thing that you feel is nausea. Your heart could stop beating if you're a heart patient or something. There's only certain people are supposed to do this. But it's amazing, really, how much it has helped and has helped so many people. And if you use it, you will not get malaria.
Wow.
You'll just come back fine.
Yeah, that's why we do it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frog medicine.
Frog
Cambo.
medicine.
Google it. It's fun.
Frog and snake medicine.
Not to be confused with Mike Tyson's
Bufo.
frog medicine. Mike
a
Tyson
little
had a
different.
frog medicine called Bufo. Have you kept up with Mike Tyson lately? He's
No.
like a nice guy who has his act together. He has his finances in order. He's quit going to jail or biting people's ear off. He's really reformed. And
Good job,
and,
Mike
and if you
Tyson.
listen to him, good job, Tyson. And I would actually love to sit down with him.
If you're watching Mike Tyson,
Yeah,
good
I'm
job.
sure he's watching TV 24 right now. You never know. So so Tyson goes on with like Joe Rogan, and they talk about this stuff. But Tyson actually used a frog medicine called Cambo. I'm sorry, called Bufo.
Bufo.
And
It's
Bufo,
different.
Bufo's stronger.
It's basically a Colorado river toad. They're not necessarily in the Amazon. They actually live
They have it in the Amazon.
Mexico
Does
and
it-
in Colorado.
Does it do the same thing, just more intensely? Or
Not really. It's a little different.
It's
It's
let's just say
different.
we have never used Bufo and never really plan to actually. You have to
I
smoke
think
it.
you have to smoke it.
It's basically smoking frog poison doesn't really, in my book, seem. One thing is, I really need to meet the frog.
make sure he's nice.
Yeah, I mean, last time, literally, actually, we had some Bufo. Remember, because Raul Raul's
yeah.
kind of seedy. But I'm sorry, Raul. Hopefully he's not watching. I cut him
Sorry,
off.
Raul. If
Yeah,
you're
Raul lied
watching.
to me like 3 times. We cut him off. But anyway, Raul, he has this shop and they like sell anything. So it's like, I was even asking him one time. I'm like, Raul, I've noticed, because we weren't looking for it. But I said, I noticed after we got here that in Iquitos or in Peru that we don't smell like marijuana. We don't see, smell, or anything. And he's like, oh, brother, I got the best Colombian marijuana you ever want. I'm like, no, I'm not asking for it. I'm just saying, what is it? And what it amounts to is, in Peru, it's still illegal technically. They don't want it. They don't really care about marijuana.
Because of the medicinal benefits?
No,
maybe?
because their work ethic and their survival needs are so intensive that they don't have time to sit around tripping out, being out of it.
It is weird that the government would make it illegal.
I mean, literally,
with so much other stuff
coca
there legal.
is legal. It's one of only like
What?
oh yeah, coca's totally legal.
That makes
it's
no
like, it's
sense.
growing on our property. I mean, well, not that we have a coca plantation or anything, but I mean, it naturally grows. And so, you know, there's coca and all that, but yeah, literally, but marijuana is illegal, which we don't care. But it's very interesting to see how, you know, they don't do that. They don't use
Yeah,
it.
they
I
don't.
mean, you hear about it in the jungle sometimes that some of the kids will you know, like use, or I say kids, like teenagers or whatever, as some sort of recreational type thing. But it's not
They kind of look down on it.
there, it's considered to be drugs. I
'Cause
mean,
it-
it's a
But
very
makes them-
Cocaine is not?
Yeah.
well, not cocaine,
Well,
coca.
Coca,
coca.
coca makes
Oh.
them work.
Yeah.
Marijuana makes them lazy.
The story,
Tired,
the
yeah.
story of coca in the jungle is that when the Spaniards and the English came to exploit the people of Iquitos to get the rubber boom to provide rubber from the rubber trees there, which they eventually manipulated and developed synthetic rubber. But while they were manipulating the people and getting them, you know, enslaved more or less, they actually passed a law that hasn't been taken away yet, where these companies have to have so many stores and they have to provide coca. I mean, it's like a mandatory thing that they provide coca to the workers.
Wow.
Because obviously they want the workers energized and whatnot. Coca is the raw plant. Cocaine is extracted. It requires a lot of chemical processing to make coca into cocaine.
It takes a lot of coca
Yeah.
to get
A little bit.
cocaine.
That's why it's so expensive. Coca leaves are sold. Literally, we'll be walking through the streets of Berlin. They'll have bags this tall, this big around, full of coca leaves, and they just sell them. I mean, and of course you can make tea from it. You can, and it's good for
You can
things like
chew it.
Yeah,
They chew on it and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It's good for a lot of things like altitude sickness, motion sickness, nausea,
Ooh, motion sickness.
cancer.
Vertigo.
People use it to vertigo. People use it a lot for. What do they use it for? Coca, as like basically a coffee substitute.
Yeah.
What's strange is that in Iquitos, though, you go to Lima, and they're all about, you know, coca tea. Here's your coca tea. We go to the airport, they're serving you coca tea. First thing you get, there's like a menu. What kind of coca tea do you want? You go to Iquitos, they don't really get into coca tea, and basically it's because coca was used to exploit them. They're like, no, I don't really need, you know, I don't really need to be, you know.
Well, coca,
stimulated
yeah,
them.
coca was transplanted from the higher altitudes
From
to
the
the lower
lower ones,
altitudes,
right.
so it wasn't really native to them,
Right.
and so they don't like it.
They're just not. They're not partial to it. And the herbs and the formulas like ayahuasca and all these others, they don't really lend themselves to recreational use of things like, you know,
I
marijuana
gotcha.
or whatever else.
Well, speaking of things being good for you, it is hot outside, and I have been staying hydrated, getting some
With-
electrolytes with stuff that they are judging me for.
I'm not judging you.
It's fine. You can.
I'll judge them.
I judge myself.
This is a learning experience.
And I brought the red one specifically because I knew that that would be the worst.
Well, first off, starting at the bottom, well, it has EDTA to protect color, so it's nice that it has some, you know, heavy metals to protect the color. But then it has Red 40. Red 40 has been
Terrible.
definitely linked at a minimum to
ADHD.
ADHD, behavioral
Yeah.
disorders, learning disabilities, and obesity.
Yes.
At a minimum. You also have, as your second ingredient, high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, that's never good.
They really put that in there?
Really? That's
It's
crazy.
Not even sugar. It's not even fructose. It's
So
high
you were
fructose corn
saying
syrup.
that the diet ones are worse for you, but maybe they don't have the high fructose corn syrup.
But they likely have a sugar substitute.
Yeah, and it could
that
be
is gonna
sucralose
hurt
is
your
what
heart.
sucralose is what they use a lot. Sucralose is terrible. It's horrible for diabetes. Horrible for
So you
glucose.
stevia? Is stevia good?
Stevia
Stevia
is
is
still
okay.
okay.
Okay, good. That's what
now
I-
erythritol, xylitol, these were considered okay, but the problem was they were testing them in tiny, minute doses, and so after they tested the tiny, minute doses, people just started using them as a free for all. Well, come to find out, the large doses of those cause heart attacks. So more on that later.
More on that later. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Will you be here next week?
We will
Or
not be here next
We're
week.
out
so
of town, so we will
Yes.
not have the show next week, but most likely the week after that.
Yes, we will be
This is bad.
back.
Yeah, that's bad. Don't get that. Well, again, I'm Lacey Klontz with Matt and Deborah St. John. Have a great week, everyone.